Hello everybody, it's Henry again from FineLimeGames, and today I'm going to go ahead and do a breakdown of how to play Kingdom Animalia on Untap. Now, as I said in the introduction video, Untap is the way that I have found to play Kingdom Animalia virtually. Obviously the game is meant to be an in-person physical trading card game, but because of a combination of COVID and just the desire to be able to rapidly playtest things and playtest things with people around the world virtually, Untap is a great way to do that. So today I will go ahead and teach you guys how to play a game in Untap. I'm going to go ahead and start by showing you what the game looks like in the actual interface itself and how one might play a game here. So again, I have this mirrored, so this is just going to copy everything I do. But down here, I have my deck of 60 cards that I made. If you want to learn how to make a deck, go ahead and check out the Discord. There's a tutorial or a bit of like instructions on there on how to create a deck. It's pretty simple. And then over here are my objectives. If I go ahead and left click on this, just normally click it, my objectives will pop up here. I can reveal those to myself, and so I can see the 3 objectives I chose for this game. In a normal game of Kingdom Animalia, everyone would get 10 food to start the game. So you can right and left click to move this up and down. This is what I use to track my food. Any way that you can track it is fine. I just find this to be the easiest way. And I use this black one down here to track the number of sets that I've won. So first to 3 wins. So everyone starts with 10 food. Normally, me and my opponent would bid to see if we wanted to go first or second. Obviously, since I'm just doing an instruction here, I don't have an opponent, I won't bid anything. So when the game starts, let's say I decide to go second. So I will pick the first objective. So I would click here, see which one I wanted to play. I find step to be a great lead objective. So I will toss this right over here. And this would be the objective me and my opponent would play this round. So the player with the most food after 10 rounds wins. Animals cannot attack until the start of the 5th round. After that, we draw our starting hands. A starting hand in Kingdom Animalia is 6 cards. So you click on your deck, go to draw, set it down to 6, and draw your 6 cards. Let's bump that out a little bit. So this is my starting hand. Per the rules of Kingdom Animalia, I need to be able to play an animal on my opening turn with the amount of food I have. I have 2 applicable targets for that, so this is a legal hand. Normally I would just organize my hand a bit, so I like to keep my high cost things over here. So you can move cards just like this. Keep my adaptations on the outside. You can move cards around in your hand freely. In Untap, anytime you click on a card or something, it brings up the list of options that you have. So the best way to move things around is just to drag them around, but you can also send things directly just by clicking on them. So my opponent would play something, and then it'd be my turn. So a good turn 1 play and a step, which is a grassland, is probably an American Robin right to the back row. And what I did is I just clicked and dragged it out. Nice and easy. There's a lot of hotkeys too that you can learn to do this stuff. Now, for example, a very useful hotkey I have found is when you hover over a card and press Z on your keyboard, it taps it for you. Z again to untap. That is so easy when you're attacking or foraging. It's very convenient. So we'd go through the turn, blah, 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 no one does anything. Start of the next turn, always draw first, so clicking on the deck again to draw 1 card. It's an adaptation, I will put it over here. And then immediately we decide if we want to forage. Yes, I'll forage. And so I should have taken away 5 when I played that Robin, and now that Robin forages for 3 plus 1 because of its ability, so I get 4 food. So keeping track of my food right here. Let's say I was able to play this King Vulture at some point, and I wanted to attack. Since I guess we're technically the same speed. If it wasn't mirrored, I could like draw an arrow to my opponent's side by saying, okay, I'm going to, my turn, attack. So I'll tap it during the combat phase, target source, and click on where I wanted to attack. So normally it'd be an arrow from me to there, but since it's a mirror, it just does it on top of itself. But this is a good way, especially if you're not in Discord playing with your opponent, to declare an attack. You tap and then do the target source and click wherever you're going. That can also be good if you're like activating some sort of ability. Let's say I had, like I play Vigilance right now. I can say I'm playing Vigilance on my Vulture, untap my Vulture. And then whenever something has to go to the graveyard, you can click on it and send it to discard, or you can simply drag it to the discard pile. So the game progresses. We are fighting. We take damage. Damage, you just add how many damage counters you take. So let's say somebody deals 8 damage. Go up to 8. Click add counter. Now I have 8 damage on me out of 12. You can click to go up, left click to go up, right click to go down on the counter, so you can keep track of damage that way. It's also a great way if you want to add counters to keep track of rounds or to keep track of other resources. But the main two things you need to keep track of, which are represented by physical tokens in the real life game, are damage and food. And so food here, damage there, that's pretty easy. Everything else seems to work out. As the rounds go on, your opponent will pick their objective. You can just put your used objectives over here. Whenever you need to end a round, you can highlight everything on the field, send that all to the discard pile, because all cards on the field go to the discard pile at the end of a set, and all cards in the hand, you go over here, send them to the top of the deck, and they go back in the deck because all cards in the hand go back to the deck at the end of a set. And if you click on your deck, you can easily shuffle it. It'll tell you that it's shuffled over here. This is a list of all the moves that have happened in the game. Very easy to keep track of. Very convenient for like an official tournament game. If you ever need to, if you have a card that lets you search for something from your deck, you just go to Find Card. And this does not show the order that the deck is in. It just shows all the cards in your deck, which is very nice because you can grab something from here. Let's say I was searching and I wanted a Great Gray Owl. You don't have to shuffle the deck now. You can, for peace of mind, you could shuffle it again, but you didn't look at the actual order of the cards. It just showed you all of your cards that are in there. So it's very easy to see how many you have of something or look at your deck without shuffling it. Another thing on the deck here is if you need to look at the top X amount of cards, there's going to be peep. So if I wanted to look at the top 2 cards of the deck, boom, boom. Scavengers and American Robin. Very, very easy. And it'll keep them peeped unless you go back and like unview them. Another thing that might come up is, let's say you have a card in your hand and you need to show your hand to your opponent. You can reveal all your cards. You can reveal them to a specific player. You can send cards from your hand directly to anywhere else. And that's true for anything. You can send cards from your deck to your hand, deck to play, deck to discard pile, discard pile to deck. And you can move cards all around just by clicking on them and then sending them to draw 2. Here you go. Discard, play, etc. So yeah, that is, I think, just about everything we have to go over in playing a game Kingdom Animalia. If anyone has any further questions, please do not hesitate to reach out to me on Discord or leave a comment on this video, and I will get back to you as soon as I can. I hope you guys are enjoying playing Kingdom Animalia and enjoy playing with people all across the web virtually, and get your hands on some physical product if you're interested. Thanks for watching, guys.